Okay, guys. Hey, I have a very interesting topic today that I want to talk about. It's currently May 3rd. The Kentucky Derby was yesterday, May 2nd. Shout out Golden Temple for the win. Shout out Golden Temple and Sherry Duvet. And this leads me to the conversation. First of all, Golden Temple had a beautiful comeback, and they basically threw dirt on his name. They literally kicked dirt in his face. He was in the back, and he powered his way around. Not only did he literally come from the back, but his distance was longer. He ran longer and he sped up and he drove and he did amazing. He pushed through. Shout out Golden Temple. Shout out Jose. Shout out to Sherry. They did really great. And it leads me to the topic. And this topic gets a little deep, may I say. So I was just thinking about it, and I've just been seeing videos. I've been feeling like the world was changing, and it has been changing, and it's been kind of, pushing this change for a while, but I think the threshold finally broke. And I've seen people kind of talk about it, and they're talking about how women in the new way things are operating are going to be women operated. Women are on top. It's going to be a matriarchy. And, I believe that I kind of believed it. But when I actually thought about it and broke it down, I had to debunk and I had to come up with something different. So the definition of matriarchy that people currently have is literally still patriarchy. As long as you're putting one gender above another gender, I can't pronounce the word, but if you look it up on Google, it's going to show you. It starts with a G. But anything that tries to dominate the other, it's any gender dominating the other gender. It's patriarchy. It's patriarchy. And I'm going to break this down further as I go. But women coming to the front now is not about women being better than men. And it's a common theme that, you'll start to understand as I talk about it more. If you listen to my podcast, you know that I say nobody is better than nobody at all. It is just not how it is. That's not how the world was created. And at the core, we're all equal. Certain people have unrealized potential. Certain people have realized their potential. That's just how it is. So it may make it seem like others are better than others, but that's just not how it works. And it's also not just about that. It's about what systems are currently running, how you fit in those systems, and if you actually have the energy to break out of those systems. Or if you don't, you won't be efficient, right? But if you work well within the system, you'll be efficient. If you don't, then it will just not, it'll be a lot of friction. So as we see the world, things are falling apart, and there's new ways of thinking, operating, and everything coming about. And what we're currently in seemed like a patriarchy, and it was just like the way things were. It kind of thought of how, things have always been passed down in male-dominated ways. Like kings have passed things down to their son, and kings reigned over queens, and that's just how things started a while back in this cycle, and that's just how they've been. But the cycle has been changing, it's been thinning, and it has gotten to a point where it had broke, and we're actually starting a new cycle. People in power now are men, and they're not in power because they earned it. As I said, things have been passed down, and that's just a common theme. Some people have earned it. I'm not saying everybody didn't earn it, but the way we think of it now, I know some people who's in a position who don't know what they're doing. They're in it because either their parent was in it and passed it down, or their friend group was in it. I know so many instances, not just literally of men, but in so many organizations, so many places, things are passed down because of who you know, your connection, proximity. And that's just how life is. You're getting places. What I'm trying to get at is things have not been earned. Things have been given. And we're moving out of given because given is not authentic. Most people in high positions don't know what they're doing. They're just getting by. And no hate towards them. That's just the cycle we were in. That's how things were working. But that cycle broke. That will no longer work in this new operating system. And it's showing things are breaking down. New people are rising, new ideas, new leaders, new thought leaders, right? Things are changing. The world is moving into a more authentic way of living. And like I said, authenticity is not given. You can't give authenticity. It's there, and it's discovered through refinement, Authenticity is discovered by removing distortion, by removing what's not authentic. And I made an episode about this previously, just talking about the way the world is moving into a era of authenticity. And if it come back to bite me and I'm wrong, it is what it is. But that's just what I feel. That's what I'm picking up on with patterns. That's what I see. And that's just what's happening. So, I think, I've been feeling it for a very long time, and it's very important. And we're about to see a rise of a lot of new leaders, like I said, and the leaders are going to be rising based off of what was earned, not given. And that's literally just going to be their authenticity, their wisdom, what they know, what they're conscious of, how they're operating their awareness. But I will tell you, like I said, it takes refinement. It takes removing that distortion. So the people that we're going to see rising, it's going to look like all of a sudden, it's going to look like, oh my gosh, these people are just coming to the front. But it's a different beast to be authentic and to be real. The world does not know authenticity, and it does not know individuality. It does not know being real. But just taking it back to the story of Golden Temple. Gold is pure. Gold is refined. He was refined, getting dirt kicked in his face, but he kept going. Either you're going to stop or either you're going to throttle. He throttled. Are you going to stay in a mess? He stayed in a mess until he saw the clear path, and then he took off. But that mess made him push. It made him push, right? So I'm saying this new way of life is about purity. It's about authenticity. It's about pushing your way out of the dirt and learning who you are in the dirt, getting rid of that distortion. It's about being pure you. Being pure the way the world has the word pure right now, I don't know. That's just not what pure is. Pure is no distortion. It's not the mix of personality, mix of traits that you picked up, mix of programs that you picked up that you don't really believe in. Pure is 100% you. It's who God put you on this earth to be. It's your individual signature. It's you. And we've been thriving on shutting down people's signatures for so long, but it's the rise of individuality. It is the rise of authenticity. We've lived and given power for so long. And it's not about that no more. Things have been put in the wrong hands because of this inauthentic hand-me-down shit. People who are not mentally ready, people who are not meant to have these positions, they have those positions. They don't even have the capacity to carry what they're carrying. But they were. In no way is that wrong, because that's just the way it was. That's the way the system was built. So it was following the way it was built. That loop was enforced. But the loop has been becoming weak, and the loop has broke. It's beginning to fall. We see it in the world around us. We see things falling apart. But the falling of things means something has been built in the back, and that something now has greater energy than what was currently running. So it broke. The loop broke. Things start to fall apart. And new ways of thinking, new ways of operating, new ways of living are arising. The old operating system has been broken, and new things are coming about. And what I wanted to get to that is important. That's why I mentioned earlier that, matriarchy is not women rising. That's just not what it is. And patriarchy is men leading, but patriarchy is also women leading. It's just domination of the other. And that's not what the world is about. And, I know women want that because, we want to get, have that, feeling. Some women want to have that feeling, oh, I'm doing better than men, but it's never about who's doing better than who. It's about being authentically you. When you're authentically you, you don't even need to compare or get validation or be better than one, because it's no comparison. We were never here to be compared. You can't even compare yourself to the next person, because nobody can do what you're here to do better than you. It's just not how it works. God does not waste his time to send two of the same people down here. That's just not how it's going to work. Everybody got their own individual mission. But women are about to be dominating more than we ever seen before. And in no way is this matriarchy. I just want to keep mentioning that. But it's going to look like that. And we've been seeing previews of women coming to the front. We've just been seeing previews. But let me tell you now, the threshold has been broken and women are about to dominate. Like, women, we're about to see women doing things women haven't done before. And let me tell you why. We're going to break this down a little bit. And, you just got to stick with me. So, like I said before, we were living in a patriarchy with men being at the top of the hierarchy. But one thing that I mentioned that's very important about this is men were given hand-me-downs. It wasn't earned. It was just given. They didn't even have the capacity to hold what they were given. They were given it because it was just how things were working. It was just how the system was working. And because they didn't have the capacity to hold, a lot of other people were exploited on their behalf. That's just how the world was operating. That was the previous operating system. In no way am I saying it's wrong. That's just how it was working. But because that has fell apart and the new rise of things are earned, it's authenticity, it is wisdom. Guys, women are going to be on the rise because while men have been at the top for so long, women have been working behind the scenes, getting everything 100% right, actually earning their places with wisdom, because women had to actually be 10 times better to get where they were, because men were handed stuff. Women had to earn their spots. But because we're now in the space of non-given energy, and you actually have to have the capacity and have the wisdom to be where you at, it's going to look like women are just, taking over. And it's because we had a head start. It may have looked a certain way back then because we were in a different operating system, but the operating system is shifting. And not just saying it's going to be women, but it's going to look more dominantly like women because the patriarchy is falling. So men are going to fall out of positions and women are going to pick them up. But there are some men who have been on a wave of wisdom as well. And the wave is just wisdom and authenticity. If you're on that wave, you're going to win because you are ahead of the game. New systems are being built off of authenticity. You have to be authentic and coherent to win in this system. That's just how it is. And women have been putting in that work for years to become and be new in these spaces and actually earn their places. So women have been doing better. You look at the demographics, it's because they actually did the work to earn where they are. And men have been given these positions. And when you're given something and you don't actually go through the mud and dirt, it don't really forge you and refine you how you're supposed to be refined and forged, may I say. And in no way am I saying, that no one is better than the other. That's just not what it is. And shout out women, shout out anybody, actually, not just women, but shout out anybody who has been living authentically, who have actually been earning their spots, being authentic, being you, showing up, actually doing what needs to be done. Shout out to the people who've been through the refinement. Shout out to all of y'all, because you definitely deserve what's coming. It was never meant to be in vain. It just was not compatible for the old system. But the new system has been being established and is currently being stabilized, and the world has been seeing previews. And example, Sherry Duvet, 152 years. It's been 152 years. She's the first woman trainer. And the odds of her horse's name being Golden Tempo, refinement, oh my gosh. Shout out Golden Tempo. And tempo is literally the motion of something, how often an event changes, like a beat, your heartbeat, things are changing. The tempo has been refined. Gold is refined. And I wanted to kind of mention a story, and when you actually look up patriarchy, it refers to the men in the Bible, the physical people who were here, and how things were passed down through male systems in the Bible. That's just how it was, right? that, when you look up patriarchy, it gives you that. Guess what? When you actually refer to women in the Bible, and the first one that came up to my mind was Sophia. And if you actually read the Bible and you read about Sophia, God, is talking about Sophia and how she was with him, or she said she was with him from the very beginning, before the world was even formed. But if you go back before you read that story in Proverbs, Sophia is wisdom, and it's a wisdom personified. And I've been telling you, wisdom, authenticity, and actually having the capacity is the new way. And she describes herself as an architect or the master worker beside God. And she's been there from the beginning. And she's the breath of power and a mirror of majesty. And let me tell you something. Authenticity is the closest place to be near God. When you're authentic, you're not going against your origin, your signature, your vessel. You become a clear channel when you're authentic. You don't have no contradiction. You don't have nothing fighting each other. When you become a clear channel and you're closer to God, because God already dwells within all of us, you receive that wisdom. You receive that power to actually produce what your vessel is here to produce. You hear me? So, in my mind, I don't know if I'm a little early. I feel early, but I kind of see people talking about it, but not talking about it all the way. We are in a new wave of life. We're in the rise of individuality. We're in the rise of authenticity. People doing what they're here to do. We're also in the rise of influence in terms of who's being authentic, who's actually doing what they're saying they're doing. And honestly, it's never really about, I've learned through certain things that you don't gotta work to die. That's not what it's about. But how true are you being to you? That's what it's about. Because money is not the most valuable currency on this planet. The most valuable currency on this planet is your energetic makeup. And when your energetic makeup has no contradiction and your energy is reading as pure and coherent, which is authenticity, which is authentic signal, which is a clear channel, you are rich. Your energy attracts money. Money wants to come to you. Opportunities, people, top tier experiences want to come to you. When you are coherent, when you are living in your truth, your energy is expensive. So these new ways of being, people who are going to have money, people who are going to have wealth, are going to be people, and I said this in an episode back, are going to be people who live authentically. And it's going to be kind of hard. People are probably going to hate on them at first a little bit until they understand. But those people who live authentically, it's not going to affect them. Because when you're living authentically, you don't need the outside validation. But all they're here to do, they're on a mission. We're moving into a more authentic world. Because the truth is, again, I don't believe nobody's above anybody. I think we're here to work in unison. And just the way the origins work, you can't. It's just the way things work. We are literally great. You just have unrealized potential, and that's your fault. So realize your potential. But what I'm trying to say is, like, these people are going to be mirrors for others to see where you need to pick up and actually become more you. Because when you become more you, you actually do what you're here to do. And everybody has a unique mission. And it doesn't have to be big and extravagant, right? It's up to you. You get to choose. But everybody's mission is different, right? But your mission is going to fulfill you if you follow it correctly. And it may not. Who knows? I don't know. But it should, right? But it's not, when you're actually being authentic and to you, it don't matter what other people are doing. You just know what you are doing is meant for you. When you're being authentic, when you loving your life, when you're unconditionally loving yourself. I literally made an episode on that previous to this one. Go listen to that. Unconditional love is authenticity. It's just, it's that understanding that nothing outside of you makes who you are at all. You're being authentic to yourself. You're not distorting anything. No external things can shake or move you. And basically, learn who you are. This whole next new season is about being truly you. It's about paving new ways. It's about bringing forth what you have, not fitting in. And that's what most people were meant to do. Were made to do in the past. Fit in, follow this system, enhance this system, grow this company. They say, be a parent, have kids, and then retire, work 60 years. We're just following systems, but you're here to build your own. And even if your system is something like, having kids, building a family, make it your own signature. That's what we're here for. And don't be surprised. This movement is going to be great. It's going to be great. I'm already having a feeling. I don't know how right I am. I'm just trusting what I've been feeling. And I made an episode on this previously, but I do know for sure that we're all involved in this very heavily, but I definitely have the responsibility. I have a big responsibility. So I've been trying to share it with you all because it's important in the way it's going to play out. And I think God has been using me in this season, and I will be used way more. But I just need to share this. So again, shout out to the people who have really refined themselves and understood this is a world about you bringing what you got. Don't ever try to be like nobody else. It ain't gonna get you nowhere. Find who you are. Show up. You will be rewarded. But the cost of finding who you are is letting go of these old programs. And I will say I've been through refinement. Is it easy? No. Refinement, think about it. You're getting burned until you're purely you. So you're burning off everything that ain't you. And some things you might have thought they were. It's gonna hurt. But in the end, it will be beautiful. And you'll be light. Life will be blissful. It'll be amazing. But the main thing I really wanted to talk about today was of course, the Kentucky Derby race, Sherry Duvet, just how things have been changing in the world, what I'm noticing, what I feel like I got to early step up on, and how I've been riding a wave actually for a while before I understood what's going on. God kind of already had me on this for a while, but now I actively am looking back at what I went through and understanding how the world is actually changing from everything that I've seen. So I kind of want to talk about it now. And I don't know if I'm right, I just had something I felt like I had to say. But from what I've seen, the way things have been operating, I have a good inkling that this might be true. So, shout out to everybody. Again, the message here is that remove the distortion, find out who you are. It is what it is. Don't compare yourself. We're moving away from just giving. So you really got to be who you got to be. You got to be who you say you are, And the world is going to respond to you. If you ain't being who you say you are, it's going to respond to that too. You just have to go listen to my the feedback loop episode. If you're not getting what you want, change your input. You got to be more authentic, man. Authenticity brings everything you could have ever wanted. That matches your signature you. So let's lean into it. Maybe I can talk about this more, but we're about to see a lot of women winning. They just been in the background working hard. That's what it is. Because they had to. And men, there's been some men working hard too, but some of the bigger positions and a lot of things that we see have been given, and we've been seeing a lot of people in power who should not be in power, guys. And nothing against them, because they're just following a program that was, but it's falling apart, and new programming is being stabilized. It's already been installed. It's being stabilized, and we are stabilizing it. So be more you, and we all will thrive. This new way of living is about us all thriving. When we're all thriving, life works beautifully. And people are gonna be like, oh my gosh, how can everybody thrive? People love to have People love to have competition because it makes them feel good about themselves. If you need competition to feel good, you are seeking outside validation, you need to go get some help. We want to see our brothers and sisters win because, again, it should give you all the validation you need to know that nobody can do what you were put on this earth to do better than you. Even if you're put on this earth to be second place and not first. You can't nobody be a better second place than you. It don't matter. But we all can win. And you like, I'm telling you, nobody is better than you. You have to put that in your mind. And it shouldn't be, but that's what the world is. But nobody can be a better you than you. Like, nobody can be a better you than you. You got to think about it like that. You were sent down here as you in the vessel you're in. So clear your vessel out. Delete programs that aren't meant for you. I think I spoke about this in a previous episode too. About the central processing unit, your unit. Delete programs that were downloaded that aren't for you. Build programs that are you. Operate with those programs, and life will reward you because you're here to be individually you and add to this system as you. Okay? Show up. Show up. Be authentic. Use your wisdom. And let's get it. Bye, guys.